feel very real, and I wanted the birth scene to feel so real, almost like documentary. So we found this 14-day-old baby.
This is not the Blake Lively you see in rom-coms. This is courtroom Blake, desperate, cornered, and unraveling in real time. Late-night bombshells just dropped in the courtroom, and guess who's begging the judge for mercy again? Blake Lively. The Hollywood starlet turned courtroom drama queen is once again attempting to stall the release of evidence in her bitter high-stakes war with Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer team. She didn't merely request an extension, she tried to delay the unsealing of court documents for the 10th time. A move that raises serious questions about what she's trying to hide. These documents allegedly reveal a pattern of lies, manipulation, and underhanded tactics her team has employed behind the scenes to control the narrative and protect her public image. According to filings released this week, Blake's lawyers swooped in at the last possible minute, demanding more time to object to the public seeing what really happened during the expert depositions. This is far from standard courtroom behavior. The deadlines were clearly established, and every other party involved followed the rules to the letter. But Blake and her team are digging in their heels, doing everything they can to keep critical information sealed from public scrutiny. While she continues to portray herself as the victim in this legal battle, the truth paints a very different picture. Court documents and deposition records suggest her team has been engaged in repeated attempts to manipulate proceedings, objecting constantly, causing unnecessary delays, redacting critical sections, and even trying to silence witnesses who might speak openly. When the process doesn't go her way, she repeatedly cries foul, running straight to the judge in an attempt to regain control. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is taking a diametrically opposite approach, remaining calm, measured, and entirely by the book, letting his legal team focus on the facts and evidence rather than theatrics. Blake's unraveling, however, is only intensifying. With facts failing to tilt the battle in her favor, she resorts to sanctions, filing motions not based on substantive legal issues but on trivial grievances, such as tone or laughter during depositions. This latest sanctions motion, her 10th, targets two of Justin's attorneys, Brian Friedman and Kevin Fritz, alleging they frustrated the deposition of Blake's so-called expert witness, Nicole Alexander. But large portions of the filings are heavily redacted, leaving observers to wonder what Blake is desperately trying to conceal from the public eye. To make matters even more dramatic, the deposition in question had already been postponed once due to illness. Yet Justin's legal team still appeared, fully prepared, and participated in good faith. In Blake's world, however, being firm and assertive in questioning somehow counts as misconduct. Her team's tactics are clearly designed to distract, delay, and overwhelm the court with paperwork, while Justin's side diligently builds their case. During the December 15th deposition, chaos quickly erupted. Less than 20 minutes in, Blake's lawyers began objecting to almost every question, interrupting the proceedings, and strategically inserting ridicule, all while claiming the deposition was unfair. Now, they are demanding the court force Alexander to return for another hour of questioning, but only allowing Blake's lawyers to ask questions, explicitly barring Justin's team from participating. They even expect him to pay for the additional deposition time, framing it as punishment for supposed misconduct. In reality, the chaos was orchestrated by Blake's team. This entire saga is not about protecting a witness, it's about silencing one, concealing uncomfortable truths, and controlling the narrative. Blake's team is clearly terrified of what might be revealed once Nicole Alexander is fully examined. Because the answers could unravel the entire story they've tried to construct. Behind the scenes, they are scrambling, filing motion after motion, desperately trying to keep the public from seeing the full picture. Meanwhile, her lawyers have now complained that Justin's team was unprofessional simply because someone laughed during the deposition. Yes, laughed. This isn't a high school argument, it's a federal lawsuit. And yet Blake's legal team continues to act like a group of teenagers trying to reclaim lost authority, desperate to shield her from accountability, and increasingly exposing themselves to ridicule in the process. According to a recent letter sent to the judge, Blake Lively's legal team is raising complaints about audible crosstalk, supposedly insulting comments, and even laughter on the record during depositions. They've gone so far as to accuse Brian Friedman's team of asking questions about Blake's romantic and sexual history, framing it as if it were some kind of scandalous ambush. But here's the part they conveniently leave out. Blake herself opened the door to personal topics earlier in the case. She made public claims about her experiences. And now that the opposing side is asking her to substantiate those claims under oath, suddenly it's harassment. Give me a break. Blake's lawyers are also accusing Justin's team of being disruptive, even though the record shows that Blake's own attorneys have repeatedly taken long breaks, stalled proceedings, and thrown tantrums whenever questioning got tough. It's a clear pattern. Crime misconduct, flood the judge with letters, and distract attention from the fact that Blake has no solid evidence to support many of her most dramatic claims. This isn't legal defense, it's pure courtroom theater. Meanwhile, Justin's team remains focused, asking substantive questions and getting real answers. while Blake's side is busy filing complaints over tone, body language, and even laughter. If sarcasm and casual laughter terrify her legal team, just wait until the truth starts coming out. The deeper this case is examined, the more it resembles a Hollywood performance spiraling completely out of control. And just when you thought Blake Lively couldn't stoop any lower, she surprised everyone. In one of the most audacious filings to date, her lawyers attempted to invoke Federal Rule of Evidence 412, also known as the Rape Shield Law. This law exists to protect actual survivors of sexual assault from being humiliated in court. Yet Blake's team is using it to dodge uncomfortable questions about her romantic history. To be crystal clear, Blake has never accused Justin Baldoni of rape, nor has she made claims of sexual assault. So why invoke a law that was designed to protect real victims? The answer is simple. She wants to trigger public sympathy without ever saying the words out loud. She wants headlines that imply something occurred, without ever providing proof. This is manipulation at its rawest, and it's dangerous. By abusing this law, Blake's lawyers aren't just bending facts, they're potentially undermining protections meant for actual survivors, risking the credibility of the very legal safeguards designed to protect people who truly need them. Even the court filings acknowledge that Blake's history is relevant to her own claims. She voluntarily opened the door, yet now that she is under oath, she refuses to walk through it. This is what happens when PR strategy takes precedence over honesty. Blake is attempting to play both the victim and the villain simultaneously, and in doing so, she exposes just how far she is willing to go to protect a carefully curated public image. The mask she has worn for years is slipping, revealing an increasingly troubling picture underneath. Blake isn't just engaged in a legal battle, she's fighting to control the narrative, treating the courtroom as if it were her personal PR machine. This week, she once again tried to delay the release of critical evidence, begging the judge for more time to object to the unsealing of documents. Why? Because the truth inside those pages threatens the polished, perfect image she has painstakingly built in the media. And here's the kicker. This wasn't her first delay. In fact, it's part of a consistent pattern of stalling, obfuscation, and legal maneuvers designed to keep the public from seeing what's really going on behind the scenes. This wasn't her second extension. Blake Lively had already been granted one, and now she's asking for even more time, clearly hoping the press cycle dies down over the holidays. This isn't legal strategy, it's textbook manipulation. She doesn't want the public to see the real Blake, the one who weaponizes lawsuits, silences critics, and hides behind endless Her team is blacking out massive sections of court filings to prevent anyone from figuring out what really happened during depositions, but the clock is ticking, and the judge can't protect her forever. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's team hasn't filed a single sanctions request, not one. They show up, answer questions, follow the rules, and handle the case professionally, with no drama and no stalling. Blake, however, is turning this lawsuit into a full-blown circus, and the main act is her playing the misunderstood Hollywood princess. Only now the audience, the public, is starting to wake up. When those sealed documents are finally unsealed, Blake's carefully constructed fairy tale could go up in flames. Court transcripts don't lie, and what they reveal is embarrassing for Blake and her legal team. During a recent deposition, chaos erupted to the point that it looked more like a reality TV meltdown than a legal proceeding. Blake's lawyers weren't just objecting, they were yelling, interrupting, refusing to go on record, and even storming out mid. One attorney literally shouted, "This is my deposition. We're going off the record," as if they were on a playground instead of in federal court. When Justin's attorney, Brian Freried, attempted the standard, necessary step of making a formal statement to preserve objections for appeal, Blake's team tried to shut him down, arguing he wasn't allowed to speak because he wasn't the lead lawyer. It was total nonsense. The absurdity didn't stop there. One of Blake's attorneys began asking about dead former clients of another attorney completely unrelated to the case. When called out, they flipped, accused the other side of misconduct, and threatened even more sanctions. This is what desperation looks like. While Justin's team keeps it professional and focused on the facts, Blake's squad is imploding in real time, attacking, deflecting, and dragging up irrelevant drama to create noise, and every word of it has been recorded by the court reporter, making it part of the official record. This isn't strong legal strategy, it's a meltdown on display for the world. Blake isn't just playing the victim. She's trying to weaponize womanhood to manipulate the outcome of a lawsuit she's clearly losing. In her latest stunt, Blake's team claims that any mention of her past relationships or romantic life amounts to harassment. They even threaten to request a protective order if it happens again, though these topics are directly relevant to her own claims in the case. This isn't about protecting anyone. It's about creating outrage headlines. Blake is relying on people not reading the fine print. She wants the public to see words like rape shield and immediately assume something happened, when in reality, she has never accused Justin Baldoni of assault, abuse, or harassment. Yet she hides behind laws meant for real victims. A calculated, manipulative tactic that weaponizes feminism to shield courtroom lies. Her legal team knows the media will eat it up, and they are pushing this narrative hard because public opinion matters just as much to them as the case itself. This isn't about winning in court, it's about destroying Justin's image, even if it means bending the truth. Blake wants to appear as the righteous face of justice, but instead, she's showing how far she's willing to go to manipulate perception. This isn't bravery, it's a betrayal of the legal system, of real survivors, and of public trust. Every time she pulls a stunt like this, more people see through her act. If anyone else attempted these moves, the judge would shut them down immediately. Yet Blake continues to receive special treatment, again and again. Consider the facts. She requested an extension to delay the release of sealed documents until December 29th. The judge didn't just grant it, he gave her more time than she asked for. And this is the same judge who has repeatedly allowed her team to redact huge portions of court filings. Each time, Blake manages to manipulate the system to buy more time, cover her tracks, and delay accountability, all while presenting herself to the public as the wronged party. Meanwhile, the real story, the chaos, the tantrums, the obstruction is quietly building inside the official record, waiting for the day it finally comes to light. This is the same judge who has repeatedly let Blake lively dodge deadlines while simultaneously burying Justin Baldoni's team under mountains of pointless paperwork. Meanwhile, the public still doesn't have access to documents they should have seen weeks ago. What's going on here? This isn't a fair fight. Blake's team is loaded with Hollywood connections, Sony, WME, high-powered law firms, and the court has treated them like VIPs. Yet ordinary people dragged into this case faced no such leeway. They were forced to show up, hand over information, and endure public smears for saying something online that Blake didn't like. So, while she delays, hides, and manipulates, the system continues to give her room to do it, because she's famous, because she's rich, because she's Blake Lively. But fame does not equal innocence. And even this judge can't protect her forever. The lies are piling up, and the public is watching closely. At some point, the curtain has to come down. This case was never truly about justice for Blake, it's been about power, control, and image. But now that image is crumbling rapidly, she thought she could bully Justin Baldoni into silence, bury the truth under redactions, tantrums, and courtroom theatrics. What she didn't count on was that the receipts exist and they're damning. The transcripts are out. The motions are public. The behavior of Blake's legal team is documented in black and white, and it is unflattering. They've been caught coaching witnesses, disrupting depositions, blocking evidence, and filing tantrum-level sanctions motions every time they lose control. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds plays the doting husband on Instagram, acting as if none of this is happening. But make no mistake, he is tied to this mess. His money backs it, his name bolsters it, and his silence. That's complicity. On the other side, Justin Baldoni has taken every punch without retaliating. No smear campaigns, no pity plays, just facts, filed on time, without the circus antics that Blake thrives on. This isn't about celebrities. It's about truth versus manipulation. Blake Lively tried to turn the legal system into her personal stage, but the performance has bombed. There are no more red carpets, no glossy cover stories, just transcripts, motions, and evidence that reveal who she really is. And the picture isn't pretty. For those tired of Hollywood lies being protected while the truth is buried, this is a wake-up call. The documents, the motions, the court transcripts, they all tell the story that fame and fortune can't erase. The public deserves transparency, and the facts are finally coming to light. The circus may have started behind closed doors, but it's now on full display. If you want to see the complete breakdown as this legal saga continues to unfold, follow along. We've got the receipts. We're digging through the filings, and we're not letting up. Justice doesn't have a publicist, but we have the facts, and they speak for themselves. We have the facts, and they speak for themselves.